Oh yeah, and I just wanted to say one other thing, hopefully really quick, because I don't have a lot of time to spend on this video. I made too many videos today, way more than I ever intended to. It's just kind of like I just had some things to say, but I never really understood the whole logic of forgiveness is weak for weak people. I know it stems from pride. Um, I mean, it's one thing to sit there and not want to forgive somebody. I mean, that's bad enough, but it happens. I could see because I know what that's like, especially when you're really, really hurt. But to forgive somebody makes you weak. I never understood that. And like, nice people are looked upon as weak people. I don't get that at all because I'm a nice guy. And I'm far from weak. Um, I mean, I'm not the kind of person where I'm just gonna sit there and lay down for you. That's not about pride. That's about self respect. I'm a nice guy, but I have my dotted line, and you're not gonna cross that dotted line. It ain't gonna happen. So I mean, with somebody like I'm just really really like, and that's just the way society is. Like I'm not a violent person at all, but at the same time, I'm not about to lay down for you either. So I don't see, how society, and that's how a lot of people think. That's how a lot of people think. Like nice people are weak people, and forgiveness is weak and all that stuff. I mean, do you want to see what lack of forgiveness does to this world? Look at it out there. See how messed up it is out there. People shooting one another over Jordans. People, shooting one another over dumb stuff, over clothes, man. Over $5, $10. And we're not even talking about drug addicts or crackheads. We're talking about just people. We're talking about people. Like at what point do we just draw the line, man? I mean, at some point we just have to draw the line. You know, like I'm talking everybody is a collective whole. We need to stop looking at nice people like they're weak and forgiving people. And people that try to forgive hardships and call that being weak, because then what are you left with? Just a bunch of spiteful, prideful, angry people walking around shooting and killing one another, because anything less than that is weak. This world needs more people that forgive. The forgiveness takes strength. I'll tell you what's weak: to sit there and call somebody who tries to forgive somebody weak. I'm not talking about the kind of forgiveness where you just sweep it under the carpet and say, okay, there you go, it no longer exists. That's just denial. I'm not talking about denial. Anybody can do that. You know, I'm talking about true forgiveness, you know, which in most cases can only be found through God, depending on how deep the hurt is. But somebody who, I've never really understood that logic. It just seems like a cop out, kind of like you know, I don't know. I just, maybe it's just me. I just see a lot of fake, fictitious. This world is just like, I don't know, just a lot of people walking around acting like, somebody that they're not. Um, not a lot of people in this world really have originality. That's what I'm saying. Um, and I don't mean that to be, a jerk or judgmental. I just mean it because it's just the way it is, man. I mean, look at the world we live in. So I never really understood why forgiveness has to be weak, or a nice person has to be a weak person in order to be nice. You know, but that's just the way it is. Because unless you're flipping out and wilding out, and you know, unless you're being crazy, people, at that point they're not going to respect you. They're just going to be scared of you. Um, it's just like, I don't know, is that what this world has come to? We have to be crazy maniacs just so people look at us and you know with respect. You have to sit there and be a crazy person just to get respect out of people. Like, that's crazy, man. you know that's just like so lopsided and belly up. That's just face down dead, bro. you know I mean, I'm not sitting here, acting like I have it all together myself, but just the whole logic of it. You know, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's one thing to struggle with something, but it's another thing to sit there and cop out and try to be a tough guy. There's a lot of tough guys in this world, a whole lot of tough guys. You know, a whole lot of people walking around trying to be tough. I don't care if you're 7'5" and 450 pounds of rock solid muscle. Does that make you tough just because you got a bigger frame than everybody else? I mean, what happens if somebody that was 8'5" came around and that was 650 pounds of solid muscle? Then what? You wouldn't be a tough guy anymore, would you? Oh, there's no. Trust me, the tallest person that ever lived was 10 feet tall. I mean, obviously, if you're 6'5", you're probably not going to run into anybody bigger than that in your whole entire life. It's just my point. Hypothetically, if you did, you wouldn't be a tough guy, would you? You wouldn't. The only you know, I'm not just talking about physicality. Obviously, I'm using that as just an example. My point is that we need to stop. We need to come to our senses and stop trying to walk around and act like we're all tough and big and bad. Nobody's a tough guy. Just the world has a bunch of hurting people that, you know, we need to forgive, man. We need to really come to our senses and forgive. Period. And I don't care what that sounds like. You sit there and think I'm weak all you want to, because I'm not weak. But I refuse, you know, I refuse to live the life that I personally led for all these years. You know, I don't want to end up like that out there. That's crazy out there, man. You know, not me. You know, you could have all that. If you want to sit there and convince the world that you're a tough guy or this or that, fine, that's cool, but I'm not buying it, though. I'm not buying it, because the world might see a tough guy on the outside, but you want to know what I see on the inside? I see a scared little boy. I see a scared little boy that doesn't know how to handle his or her emotions. That's what I see. Underneath all that, whatever you have. That's what I see. Because if somebody is truly well put together, they're not gonna have, you know, too much of an attitude. They're not gonna find a reason to intimidate people. You know? Like, I never understood it, you know? Like, again, I'm not picking on people who are angry. I'm not doing that. Because I don't know somebody else's struggle. I'm really not. But at the same time, you know, really, I mean, if you want to be angry, but, you know, and this video isn't directed towards anybody, like, specific or in particular, like, at all. I'm just saying, as a collective whole, as a collective society, you know, we like to look at people who, you know, really want to, you know, work their problems out, especially if they're a dude, you know, like, oh, he's a guy and he's talking about his problems, he's such a female. Well, hey, man, it is what it is. You call it that, I call it being healthy. I call it being level-headed. I call it that's a healthy thing. When somebody wants to deal with their emotions, that's what you call health. When somebody wants to sit there and clam up and be a tough guy and just hide their emotions and just be some rough tough guy and not talk about their emotions, man, you're a walking heart attack. High blood pressure, heart attack, all kinds of stuff, cancer. I mean, you're not doing yourself any justice. I mean, 10 years of people looking at you like you're some tough guy can bring on 30, 40 years of health problems, if you even make it that long. So have fun. You know, again, I'm not condemning anyone. And if you're like that, I promise you, if anything, I'm just maybe trying to help you out is what I'm trying to do, you know? So, you know, I just think that, you know, and it's hard, but I'm just trying to reach a broken world and just say, hey, man, look, don't ever make excuses for people that hurt you. People should be held accountable. But that's, you know, vengeance it belongs to God. And we all need to realize that. You know, myself, I need to do a better job of realizing that God is in control, and or you know, is in you know, like it's hard when somebody really hurts you. It is hard, but at the same time, you know, I'm open and honest about my feelings, man. I'm open and honest about. I mean, I'm not open and honest as far as like I'm gonna walk out there and just spread my business like cancer. I'm not like that at all. You know, what I mean by that is, I mean, these videos here, I guarantee you no one I know is going to see these videos. So I don't care. I don't care one bit who you are, because odds are you don't know me. You know, you don't know where this video is being shot from. And even if you don't, you do know me. You don't even know where I live. So it's all cool, you know, but, because I don't live in that, you know, where you probably think I live. I don't live there anymore. So, or any of those places. But yeah, I mean, this world is really needs help. A lot of hurting people walking around, so is there anything else I really want to add? This can probably be my last video of the day. I mean, it's just like, dude, way too much time. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely that type of person. I'm sorry, my eyes are kind of buggy right now. I'm just like zoning in. You ever like just zone in on one thing and your eyes just like open real wide because they become really relaxed. That's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like the way society has it is like, I mean, it's to sit there and just, you know, it's not about being emotional. It's not even really about being sensitive. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but I'm a sensitive dude. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to admit, as long as, it's not to the wrong person, as long as it's to somebody who I trust. Or if I have a problem with somebody, I'm gonna walk up to you, but I'm definitely not going to talk behind your back. I mean, if I decide to let it go, I let it go. But you ain't going to catch me talking behind your back. I don't do all that. I mean, if I have a problem with somebody, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder like an adult and say, hey, come here, man. I'm not going to sit here and be aggressive either. I'll pull you aside and say, hey, look, I'll be real friendly about it. So, I mean, I think people just need to stop trying to be tough guys and tough girls, man. There's nothing wrong with, being honest, getting stuff out there. It's called communication, and it's called communication skills, man. It's called, just being real about your stuff, just putting it out there. You don't have to sit there and cuss and swear and, punch people in the face, and that's just dumpster stuff. Like, just go roll around in a dumpster somewhere. Like, that's just like, dude, like, come on now. I mean, obviously if somebody punches you or puts your hands on you or somebody you love, then obviously under certain circumstances, is if it's self-defense and it's justified, then if you got to do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, like, it's an angry world out there and people would rather punch you in the face and assault you, or whatever. I don't know what people do. People might not even do that, and they might steal your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something, or hook up with your wife or hook up with your husband, or steal your money, or I don't know, do something. People don't necessarily have to punch you in the face. People could do all kinds of things, So it's just the way it is. It's just the world we live in. I mean, people maybe take a baseball bat to your car. Really, I mean, and about significant others, this never happened to me ever. I mean, I've been cheated on once that I'm aware of, but it had nothing to do with what I'm about to say. It just had to do with the fact that my girlfriend made a poor choice. Hey, that's on her, man. It is. I mean, not the girl. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about, like, in the past, I was cheated on once, and I'm probably more than that. I mean, I just never found out about it. Whatever. I didn't marry any of them. It don't matter to me. It is what it is. A past is a past. I'm just saying, basically for the younger people in this segment right here is like, some people, like if you're a dude or a female, if somebody spites you or has a problem with you, or just because they can or whatever, somebody might try to snatch up your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Hey, look, if your boyfriend or your girlfriend is willingly going to sit there and let them be, because nobody can snatch up your boyfriend or your girlfriend without their consent, unless, of course, a crime is committed where there's rape or, something to that effect. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimate, like the person is sober and they're willing. Well, at that point, they weren't too much of a girlfriend or a boyfriend to you, were they? So let that person go, bye-bye, because I'll tell you something. It's only a matter of time before that person does it to your friend. And then your friend is going to get hurt, or your friend is going to do it to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out, so just let the baby have the bottle, sort of thing. You know, so it's only a matter of time before the baby drinks all the milk and the baby just gets frustrated and throws the bottle.